I had absolutely no clue about how my lack of emotional health and lack of emotional intelligence was impacting me. I had no idea. And people looking at me on the outside, I look good, walk good, talk good, smell good. From all intents and purposes, man, I was cool as a cucumber. And there I was, man, all up in my emotional cluelessness and my emotional unhealthiness. Please don't fool yourself. Please do not be seduced by the temptation and seduction that you are already emotionally healthy. And man, maybe you are. Maybe you're in the minority, because that's statistically researched. Again, I've read lots of books on this in this space. Statistically, the majority of people are not emotionally healthy. Welcome to the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. Like most business owners, you already know you need good business and marketing strategies to scale and be profitable. But at some point, you've hit the dreaded wall where you feel stuck and frustrated. EQ for Entrepreneurs is for business owners and leaders who are honest enough to admit that they just might be the ones holding their business back and are brave enough to change that.
We're Noble and Kathy, and every week we're having candid conversations about all things emotional intelligence and how growing that has allowed us to get out of our own way and is radically transforming both our businesses and our personal lives. This is the secret sauce strategy for modern entrepreneurs who are tired of hustling without seeing results and want to grow a business and a life that they love.
What is going on, entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers? So excited for today's episode. I may get emotional, very good chance, already getting emotional at this episode. I just got done with one of my corporate coaching clients, and man, it was overwhelming. That's the emotion that I'm feeling right now. It's overwhelming, fulfilled, excited, ecstatic, humbled, privileged, blessed, thankful, grateful, are the emotions that I could come up with there off the top of my head. Thank you all for watching on our YouTube channel or listening on our podcast, both called EQ for Entrepreneurs. It is so humbling to be a part of people's emotional growth journey, especially when they start to realize and recognize actual, practical, applicable growth and life change and literally life transformation. Sometimes that, I feel like that phrase or that term has been overused almost to a cliche. It is overwhelming to see and observe and have a front row seat to somebody else's emotional growth journey and an actual life transformation. And this is how powerful this coaching interview was or session was. And I got permission. I got explicit permission. I probably asked him 3 different times, hey, do you mind if I use our interview? And I'll edit out some of the parts and stuff, but just, but just some of the things that he shared, he said, absolutely 100% you can use this on your podcast and stuff. So, and then I'm also going to do an actual podcast interview with him, because I want to kind of go behind the scenes. He was what I'm going to be sharing with you all in a very soon episode. Maybe this next episode after this one. It may be a couple of different episodes later, but anyway, soon after this episode that you're listening to or watching, you'll get to see and or hear him explain kind of the benefits or end results, so how he has transformed his life. When I interview him live, I want to go kind of do a behind the scenes and ask him how. So what you'll hear is the what, the benefits, the impact, the results, the outcomes, of how his life has changed and been transformed personally and professionally. And then one of the following episodes after that one, with our live interview, I want you to hear kind of the what he did to transform, what he did to change, and how, the application, the steps that he did to change. It is so humbling to hear. It was, I got emotional just hearing him talk. His parenting has changed, how he's parenting his children. And honestly, for me, as a emotional intelligence practitioner, facilitator, whatever you want to call it, that is the most impactful and transformational thing someone can have. For me personally, that is the most fulfilling, because that is when you impact your children, you're impacting the next generation. You're impacting your family legacy. Now, has he impacted his professional life as well? Is he changing the trajectory of his professional career? Absolutely. Will it impact his roles and positions and income? Absolutely. And he's already a senior high-level executive already. This absolutely is going to impact the trajectory of his whole professional career, which is, again, no doubt, I love it. It's amazing. It's great. It's a great feeling to be a part of that experience also. But to hear that it is changing his marriage, it's changing his parenting. And I asked him, I'm like, his name's Ryan. Ryan, what do you think? How do you think this emotional growth and emotional health and healing journey for you that you have been on just in the past 5 months, not 5 years, not 4 years like me, 5 months, how is your children having an emotionally healthier dad going to impact their future, their present and their future? He's got 11 years with his son, 12 years with his daughter left, if they leave at 18 on to whatever they're going to do in their life. 11 years and 12 years respectively having an emotionally healthier father. What is that? Because I know what it looks like. All of us know what it looks like for children to have emotionally unhealthy parents. We all have friends, family members, ourselves, we know what that looks like. Thankfully, I have been on this journey again for the last 4 years, so my daughter has been able to experience the last 4 years of a much healthier emotional father, and she will have the next 4 or 5 years with, again, a much healthier emotional father and mother as well, obviously. So, and I'm thankful for that. Tremendously thankful for that. And not just that, but one of the things that we're doing as well is, as we learn these emotional tools, we're teaching our daughter. And the prayer, the hope, the prayer is that she goes off into her, not only continue with her high school years, which by default are very emotional, lots of hormones going on, lots of emotions going on, a whole new, cocktail of emotions in teenagers. and then also continue on, whether it's college, if she wants to do college, if it's, her own business, whatever it is, if it's the ministry or mission field or whatever she chooses to do with her life, as an emotionally healthier person, emotionally healthier young adult, what are the consequences? What are the ripple effects of that? One of the things we talked about with this gentleman, again, Ryan, I said, dude, the impact, that's one of the things I say, you guys all know, if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, I say two things a lot on almost every podcast is unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. Unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. They actually compound. Conversely, emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. Well, I would argue that emotionally healthy leaders and influencers help heal maybe an exponential number of people emotionally, just because of their influence. Their influence is a much greater. And if any of those leaders, if they're any of those leaders that have leaders following them, again, that ripple effect, that secondhand smoke, the emotional consequences of their getting healthier emotionally, it is exponential. And so I said, man, Ryan, with your social capital, your social influence, what is the impact of you getting healthier emotionally like you are? I'm like, dude, it's incalculable, the impact that in he's just starting his journey, 5 months, and this guy has made, I just can't wait for you guys to hear this. And he's not my personality. So for me, I'm sanguine-choleric, that's coming from a book called Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. That's kind of, I know there's DISC and there's Enneagram and there's all these other things out there. I've used Personality Plus for 20 plus years. So it's been a super helpful tool and resource. So I'm a sanguine-choleric, which is the outgoing extrovert type A personality. This guy is a choleric melancholy. So he's task-oriented. He's not relationship-oriented. He's task-oriented. He's a driver, he's type A, he's decisive, he's a great decision maker. And he has, he on this interview shares all these different ways of how his life has changed and been impacted by his own emotional intelligence growth journey. And man, it's powerful. It is powerful and inspirational. And I told him, I said, dude, you're impacting me by, and I'm 4 years deep into this, immersed into this. You're 5 months into this and have already made such tremendous change and transformation. I'm like, dude, you are proving my quote true. Emotionally healthy people help heal. You're inspiring me to continue to grow and change on my own journey that I'm still very much on, growing right alongside this guy and growing alongside you all. For those you all who are on, again, watching and listening on your emotional growth journey, man, thank you. I want to thank you for having the courage and the bravery and the fortitude and the diligence and the discipline and the intention and the attention and the consistency to embark on this emotional growth journey. I can't wait to hear your story of life transformation and life change as a result of your intention and attention with your own emotional health and growth journey. Whether you may be a homeschool family, you may be a homeschool leader, you may be a military leader, you may be a business executive, you may be a social media influencer. Wherever you're at, you may be an entrepreneur. Wherever you're at in terms of your profession, your career, thank you for embarking on this journey. The consequences, the positive consequences, the positive ripple effects and upon you as the rock that's being thrown through life as you land, all your touch points on the water of life, and those corresponding ripple effects that you are having in your social circles is tremendous as you grow and change emotionally, as you heal emotionally. And the thing is, what's deceptive and seductive about not growing and not taking ownership of your emotional healing and your emotional growth is, this was me for 98% of my life, 99% of my life was, look, I'm good. I'm successful. I graduated from West Point. I did very well in the military. I did very well in business and entrepreneurship. I did very well in my little stints in corporate America here and there, sprinkled throughout my kind of entrepreneurial journey. What do I need emotional growth for? What do I need all this warm, fuzzy, all this warm, fuzzy business? I don't need this. I'm successful. Throwing faith. Are you kidding me? I have a great relationship with the Lord. I go to church every Sunday. I read my Bible. I pray. I had absolutely no clue about how my lack of emotional health and lack of emotional intelligence was impacting me. I had no idea. And people looking at me on the outside, I look good, walk good, talk good, smell good. From all intents and purposes, man, I was cool as a cucumber. And there I was, man, all up in my emotional cluelessness and my emotional unhealthiness. Please don't fool yourself. Please do not be seduced by the temptation and seduction that you are already emotionally healthy. And man, maybe you are. Maybe you're in the minority, because that's statistically researched. Again, I've read lots of books on this in this space. Statistically, the majority of people are not emotionally healthy. How many of you have received intentional training and exposure and education and tools to grow your emotional intelligence, to handle your emotions, to handle other people's emotions? How many of you? A very, very small percentage. I know there's some of you. The vast majority of us have not grown up in emotionally healthy families and have not received intentional emotional training, emotional intelligence training. And even if you have, again, that's part of the seduction too, is, well, I've gone through an emotional intelligence course. Even if you've gone through our course, we have an 8-week course where we teach emotional intelligence. That can open the door. Maybe you took a college course. Maybe your organization, your company has brought in an EQ teacher, coach, practitioner, facilitator. That again, head knowledge does not change your heart. Head knowledge is just that, it's head knowledge. You may have a PhD in emotional intelligence. That does not mean you're emotionally healthy. Big difference, y'all. It's the overweight nutritionist. It's the overweight personal trainer, fitness trainer. Hey, that's great. You have a PhD in physiology and nutrition and whatever, right? Whatever, fitness, whatever the degrees are, right? There's a zillion of them. It's not coming to my head right now. All these degrees in fitness, and yet you're overweight, 20 pounds, 50 pounds overweight. But man, there you are with your degree. There's a big difference between head knowledge and heart application. That's why, as an entrepreneur, no, I don't have a degree in this. I don't have a bachelor's in emotional intelligence. I don't have a PhD in emotional intelligence. But guess what? I have been studying and researching and applying in my own life this stuff for 4 years. So in a way, I feel like I have way more than a PhD. Because again, for me, yes, there is an element, an aspect of head knowledge. There is the other aspect of emotional health and emotional intelligence is the application, is heart knowledge. Like, you've got to apply this stuff. Now, here's a disclaimer. Here's a beware. Here's a caution. And Kathy did 3 episodes of this. It's in the 20s. In our episode, we've got 130 some episodes out now. As of this particular episode that you're listening to or watching, in the 20, like in episode 23, 5, 7, or 25, 27, 29, 27, 29, 31, somewhere in there, Kathy did a series, a 3-part series on the dark side of emotional intelligence. So there are some people, and I know some, that have grown their emotional intelligence in their head knowledge so that they can be better and more effective at controlling and manipulating people. So hear that. There are absolutely people out there that use the knowledge of emotional intelligence to be more effective controllers and manipulators, to be more effective toxic leaders. They are out there, which one of the blessings of getting emotionally healthier is now I can spot that. Before, I was in a very unhealthy culture, a very toxic emotional culture for many years, and never even realized it because I had no self-awareness. And as a result, and here's the crazy thing, I was very successful in that culture. Now that I'm emotionally healthier, now I can spot it from a mile away. Someone trying to control me, manipulate me through shame, fear, guilt, disappointment, love bombing. Man, I can spot it a mile away now. So thankfully, that's one of the benefits. So even though, well, man, there's folks out there that are actually using their own emotional intelligence to manipulate. Absolutely. Now, for me personally, I know I can spot it. I'm a lot more aware of it because I'm healthier emotionally myself. So, and the fact that I know that I'm a part of helping other people get healthier emotionally so they can spot it quicker now than maybe they did before. Again, I was so naive. I'm such a truster and believer of people. 100% naive for most of my life. People pleaser addiction. I've told you guys all that stuff before in previous episodes. And now I can choose to be in relationship with people and love people from a much more emotionally healthy perspective with boundaries. Man, guys, I know that was I just said that little last chunk there in 30 seconds. That is massive for a recovering people pleaser addict to be able to spit out what I just spit out. I know some of you are like, that's okay, well, that's no big deal. Great. That's great for you, bro. Man, for those of you all who are people pleasers or recovering people pleasers like me, what I just got done saying is massive. I've never had boundaries in a relationship before. I've never been in relationships with my eyes wide open. I've just been, again, emotionally unhealthy, an emotionally unhealthy sanguine, emotionally unhealthy people pleaser, a people pleaser addict. You shouldn't be. I don't think there is such thing as emotionally healthy people pleaser. Right? So that is an oxymoron right there. But anyway, hopefully, this stuff is huge. So realize, guys, that this is massive. The impact that you can have on other people by your own. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be some big cheese leader. Anybody that is in your life will benefit by your emotional health and growth and newfound emotional freedom. The freedom that I have, there's another thing I've said a number of times, is financial freedom without emotional freedom is still slavery. Financial freedom without emotional freedom is still slavery. There are some people whose life mission, financial independent, I'm gonna be a millionaire, whatever the thing is, that are still controlled and manipulated. Or, even worse, are controlling and manipulating others. Both are bad. To be on the receiving end of a control manipulator is a terrible experience, and to be the one controlling and manipulating is a terrible experience. And unfortunately, I've been on both sides. I have absolutely been on both sides because I had no self-awareness and my own emotional unhealthiness and my own emotional neediness and my own emotional codependency to the people and organizations that I was a part of. And so I'm so thankful that God gave us those experiences, because now I'm in a much, now, and I told the guy, the interview that I was talking about with Ryan, am I emotionally healthy? I don't know that I'd go that far, but I'm much more emotionally healthy. I'm much, how do you say that? I'm much healthier emotionally. There we go. I'm much healthier emotionally. And I know that is, I've had people tell me, Noble, dude, you just seem, I had a lady who doesn't really even know me, but I guess she had discernment or something. She's seen me before, and I've done a lot on social media in the homeschooling world and that kind of thing. And she told me, she's like, it had been probably maybe 6 months or a year in between the time that she had seen me. And she said, man, you just seem a lot more pleasant and present. And she said, you seem a lot less needy, lot less emotionally needy. You seem more comfortable in your skin. You seem more confident. You feel better as an audience member who's heard you speak before, who's been part of your trainings before. You feel better. You feel less needy to me as an audience member. And again, I didn't even really know her that well, and she said a lot in a little bit, and I was like, wow, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. I feel how you just communicated. I feel all those things that that's how I'm feeling right now, just in this new phase of growth that I'm in. And man, guys, my prayer is that you guys get and experience the level of emotional freedom that I have right now, and and again, I'm fairly early on in my own journey, just 4 years into this, and just how free emotionally I feel. And again, listen, I have lots of things I'm still working on, lots of areas that I still need to grow in, lots of areas that I'm still emotionally immature in, lots of areas that I'm not emotionally healthy yet in. Even with that said, though, with 4 years deep into this, how emotionally healthy I feel it's amazing. And I pray that you all, again, please, you're worth it. You matter. You're worth it. You matter. You are worth investing in your own emotional healing, your own emotional growth, your own emotional healthiness. And the impact that your emotional freedom and health and fitness is going to have on your spouse, on your children, on your coworkers, on your staff, your company, your leaders, the people that you influence, your social circle is going to be tremendous. And I just pray that you all just stick in with this long enough to experience the health and freedom and breakthrough that you can have. And my faith has been my faith has been impacted. My relationship with the Lord has been impacted. My fitness has been impacted. I've lost 50 pounds in the past 8 months, y'all. I've never been consistent with any healthy eating for 8 months. That might as well be 30 years for me. 3 days is the longest that I have ever been consistent at ever in my entire life, 3 days. I'm 8 months deep into healthy eating, healthy habits, healthier. I'm not eating like kale every day and celery, but I have food, which again, this is another massive thing. Massive, y'all. I have never not been addicted to food. I have never not been addicted to, I have always been addicted to food. I have always been addicted to sugar. I have always been, and I'm talking addicted. Like a thing of Pringles, right? The Pringles, the full tube, give me 15 minutes and that's gone. Circus peanuts, full bag of circus peanuts. That was my childhood food, my childhood snack, one of them. Give me 30 minutes. An entire massive, I'm not talking little gas station, little teeny bags that have 10 little circus peanuts. I'm talking the bag that's got 50, 60 circus peanuts. Give me 30 minutes and that bag is gone. The Jello, the boxes of Jello, the powdered Jello, give me 5 seconds. I'm gonna shoot that thing. It's done. Putting that sucker back. I'm so passionate about this because of how it's changed my life. I had no idea. Guys, my organization. So again, my personality, same with Claire. I used to be so disorganized. I used to be forgetful. I used to forget everything. Being on time, I was never on time. I'd be late to my own funeral 5 years ago. I was late to everything. And as a result of healing emotionally, am I gangster organized? No, I'm not gangster organized. I'm not organized like my wife is. But my organization went from a 1 to a 6 or a 7, which for my personality, you tell me how many sanguines you know that are organized. You tell me how many sanguines you know that are on time consistently. Now I'm consistently on time 99% of the time. There's still things here and there that I'll maybe show up a little bit late to, but 99% of the time I am on time. Which again, for me, is I can't tell you how massive that is. So again, I may be, you may hear me talk about again the warm fuzzy, emotions and feelings. Here's the deal: because I have had actual practical life transformation and change in my life, not just I feel better, which I do, which is important. There have been massive practical changes in what areas of your life do you need changing in? And forget about emotions and feelings. Forget about it. Make a list of all the areas that you need or want to change in your life. Just write them down. Make a list. Maybe there's 5 things. Maybe there's 10 things. Maybe there's 20 things. Maybe there's 50 things. Do you want to be more patient? Do you want to handle conflict differently? Do you want to be better in conflict? Do you want to be more effective in relationships? Does your communication need to improve? How does your communication need to improve? How do you need to improve in relationships? Does your marriage need to improve? Does your parenting need to improve? How does your parenting need to improve? How does your marriage need to improve? Do you want to make more money at your job? Why are you not making more money? Do you want a different job? Do you want a different position in your job? Do you want to grow your business? Why is your business not grown? Do you want to get promoted sooner? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to work out more? Do you want to drink more water? Do you want to experience less anxiety? Do you want to handle anxiety better? Do you want to be more mature? Do you want to not have things impact you as much? Do you want to not let social media or society or the news impact you as much as it's impacting you right now? What areas do you want to grow and change in? I'm telling you, now listen, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm only saying this from my own personal example. There is a phenomenal chance that somehow, whether you're aware of it or not, your emotional intelligence is impacting those areas that you're wanting to grow in. Listen, I'm just telling you, from my own personal experience, there's a very good, not 100%, I'm not saying 100%, I'm telling you, there is a very good chance that in some way, some form or fashion, your emotional health, your emotional intelligence is impacting your productivity, your performance, the outcomes in your life. Very good chance. I'm not saying 100%. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm telling you, there is a very good chance that your emotional health, emotional intelligence is impacting you. So starting off with my coaching client today and the impact, the inspiration, the encouragement that he was to me today in watching his journey, I can't wait for you to see his interview or hear his interview of how his life has changed just in 5 months of working on his own emotional growth journey. Just in 5, and that may be the next episode after this one. I cannot wait for you it's not me, it's not Noble. He doesn't have a podcast on emotional intelligence. He's not been, working on warm fuzzy stuff for, 4 years like me. He's not been 5 months. He's a senior executive. He is a business director in his company of a multi-million-dollar company, manages multi-millions of dollars, international, manages multiple countries. You can hear from this guy. He doesn't have a business on emotional intelligence. This is just his own 5 months of being on his emotional growth journey. It's going to encourage you. It's going to inspire. He's not a sanguine like me. He doesn't have, he's not getting paid. He's not a paid spokesman of, EQ for entrepreneurs. He is one of my coaching clients, and his life transformation, personally and professionally, is going to inspire you and encourage you to hopefully either begin or continue your own emotional growth journey. Remember, unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. They actually compound. And emotionally healthy leaders help heal other people emotionally.